Welcome to Good Fruit Investors. Today we're talking about risk and Bitcoin in particular. So it's really interesting for those of you that may have looked at crypto as a possible asset class, and you might look at it and say, wow, it's so volatile. The market just goes up and down and up and down and up and down. Well, believe it or not, that's more of a problem that people have in the retail investing industry. When you actually go to more of a professional level, a lot of times different investors are not actually as concerned about volatility. They're concerned about other things like regulations and other aspects of investments because they understand the concept of how that volatility plays into their portfolios. So I just want to give you an example. You might have looked at the news, in the last year and seen crypto, do this skyrocketing up to around that 60,000 marker. And then all of a sudden it comes crashing down to, into the 20,000%. And so you can see that it had a dip of over 50%. That is a huge loss in regards to that short time horizon. But if you actually look at the picture of Bitcoin over the course of 10 years, and you bring in comparison with things like gold or the S&P 500, you can actually see a graph where even though you have these crazy ups and downs, so volatile, it actually still has this large upward momentum. And so that's partly due to people wanting to take on that risk. So if we always decide to become risk aversive, then what happens is we might not have as much of returns that you can have. It's the same principle as if you invest in individual stocks versus doing things like an ETF of, say, something like the S&P 500. So there are different ways to increase your returns, adding extra risk onto your portfolio. But then there's also a lot of drawdowns that can take place. And so it can be a little bit more challenging to think about investments this way, but that's the way that the economy works. For those that are willing to take on that risk, there's a little bit more reward. For those of the investors that aren't wanting to take on that risk, then there's less of that reward. And so there's lots of different types of things that we're going to get into in Good Fruit Investors, one of them being standard deviation, along with Sharpe ratios and all sorts of other things that tie into how to make good, healthy assessments of this, looking at different types of portfolios. So I'm looking forward to spending that time with you and just following along this journey of your investing journey with you and hopefully giving you some education along the way. Take care.